Hi, I'm Louis Ortiz, and I'm here to show you how to do a basic inspection when purchasing a used car. There are some items you should look out for, such as safety of the vehicle, leaks and contamination of the fluid, and also to make sure all accessories are working properly. So sit back, watch this video while we show you how to do a basic inspection. Now, we're getting ready to start, and the way I like to start is by checking the fluids. Usually give a good indication of the type of maintenance that's been done on the vehicle. We have a vehicle here, looks pretty clean. Pop open the hood. And you look at the vehicle and you say, what am I looking at? Well, you have several fluids inside this vehicle. You got your oil fluid, you got your transmission fluid, you have your coolant, your brake fluid, your power steering fluid. Generally, if proper maintenance has been taken care of on the vehicle, the fluids will give you that indication just by the color, tint of the fluid. Now, you would like to have a white rag of some type. I usually get a napkin. And what you do is generally pull out the dipstick of the oil. You're going to check the oil fluid. Give you some good, you can wipe it on there. It'll give you a good indication of the type of oil. This vehicle right here, I would say, hasn't been driven very often. Oil still looks brown tinted, yellow tinted of the oil itself. Also, you have over here, sitting way back in the corner, is the brake fluid. Now, you're going to see a red tint sometimes on brake fluid, sometimes you're going to see a black tint. But the actual color of brake fluid is actually yellow. It's a yellow tint. And some vehicles have a tint cover where you wouldn't see the fluid itself. You may be able to just pop open the cap, shine a light in there, and they'll give you an indication of the color of that brake fluid. Now, this brake fluid, with my profession, has condensation, has built it up in there through heat and cold, has changed the color of the brake fluid, giving it a red tint. Like I said, brake fluid is naturally yellow. Nothing to be alarmed with this type of color of brake fluid at this time. We will see some other that we know we have to take care of. Another fluid that need to be checked would be your coolant. Generally, you would check your coolant from your reservoir. Most cars don't have pressurized reservoirs. There are some vehicles that have pressurized reservoir. If you see coolant inside your reservoir, you're doing good. I usually like to pop the radiator cap, make sure the vehicle has not been started, has not warmed up at any time. According to coolant, you should have a lime green color. Lime green color will be the color of coolant, properly maintained. Some vehicles, manufacturers, use a different color tint, but for the most part, it's a lime green color. I would say this coolant has been properly maintained by the color of the fluid itself. Now, if we point down, we got to find the transmission. They're going to be in different locations. Transmission dipstick. And as you see, transmission is a red color. It will start to change colors. You may even see some black streaks in it. But for the most part, it's a red color. That transmission has been properly maintained. One other fluid this vehicle has, it also has power steering fluid. And of course you have to locate the power steering reservoir. In our breakdown sheet of the engine compartment, we'll show you various places of the reservoir for the power steering, the brake fluid, the coolant reservoir, and of course the transmission and oil fluid dipsticks. Now on power steering, it looks like transmission fluid. Yes, Some of them have the red tint, some of them are clear, depending on the manufacturer of what type of power steering fluid they want to use. This particular vehicle is going to be red. Any other color outside of this, like dark colors, not good for the power steering system itself. Now overall, this vehicle, I would say, has been properly maintained. Now just looking at the engine compartment, with no leaks involved, as you see, everything looks pretty clean. This vehicle has been properly maintained. Now we're going to look at some other vehicles that probably haven't been properly maintained, but we will have to see as our inspection goes along. Okay, now we're going to look at a vehicle that has probably seen the road a lot more than the previous vehicle that we was looking at. Now in this particular vehicle, I'll probably start by looking at the battery. The condition of the battery, because with corrosion around the battery post could lead to future problems of it starting, especially during the winter time. Now this battery, I would say, can use a proper battery service. Due to that, you see some seepage around here. Not a whole bunch of corrosion, which is good. This battery doesn't corrode. It does have its battery tie-down straps, which is good. You won't have to worry about a battery tipping over, leaking acid all over in the engine compartment. So, for the most part, I would say this battery will survive this winter, but it can use a service. As we move over here, we want to inspect your hoses. Squeeze on them. They want to be firm, but not extremely soft. You may see some bulges around these areas right here. That could be a sign of a hose that's starting to swell up around the neck of the engine compartment, which in turn will soften up and cause a leak in the future. May need some future attentions at this time, but the firmness of the hose seems like it will last a little longer. If you have a flashlight, you may want to look down at the conditions of the belt. And when you're looking at the condition of the belt, you want to kind of turn it around. See if there's any cracks. If there's cracks, that's an indication of a worn belt. Dried out, will cause some squeaking, maybe in the morning while you start your car. Other things you may want to look at while looking up top, most leaks start from the top and work their way down. Back of the engine, if you come around this way, if you look in the back of this engine, you will notice a leak back there. Looks like we have a valve cover leak starting in the back of that corner. And of course, that's probably a lot of work with this type of engine. It looks like the whole top of this engine has to come apart just to get to that leak back there. Now, if you're not too worried about a slight leak like that, maybe a vehicle you may want to purchase. But if you have the extra money, you may want to purchase it and get it fixed. The leak can dribble down onto your exhaust, cause smell in the morning. If it drops down onto the sensor, it could premature wear out that sensor, fail that sensor where it won't work properly, and cause a component problem in your engine, or a check engine light, etc. So, a small leak like that can cause a lot of damage. At the same time, you want to pop open your oil cap and kind of take a look at the underside of your oil cap. Now to me, this vehicle is going to need an oil cap. If you see the residue around the oil neck, could be from them filling up, overflowing, running down this way, or it could be a bad seal on this oil cap, which in turn vapors come out and leak around right here. Slight problem, not very expensive, but one that could be taken care of with a few dollars. From there, this engine compartment looks fairly decent. Probably has a lot of mileage on it, got a few oil leaks on it, but shouldn't be a vehicle not to buy at this point. We have to continue on with our basic inspection to see if there's other problems that exist with this vehicle.